as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in, the worms that crawl in are lean and thin, the ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy. And for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when death brings his cold despair, ask yourself, will anyone care? Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in, the worms that crawl in are lean and thin, the ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy. And for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where
All right, how you guys doing?
skin melts off as you descend.
Trying to make sure I don't get too loud. Not that I have any kind of volume restrictions. I just don't want to blow out your eardrums. All right, let's see who we got in. We got Play, Machete, Chuck, Nicholas, Ranger, Devin, Ty, Harley, and Paris, all in here. Oh, nice. Got a nice little core group all together. Get your Stanley ready for Lucy Lawless. I'm so jealous of you, Robert Tapper. Are they together? I don't think I've ever heard that, Ty. Are they actually together? I'd imagine Paris would know. Paris keeping up with all the Evil Dead stuff. I'd imagine a lot of the stuff with the cast. But that is something I did not know. Ear hurt. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What episode do they go back in 1981? I'm not sure the exact episode, but we should be coming up close onto it. Because, I mean, we're going to see it at some point in time. We're going to do the last 4 episodes. What up, Chuck? How you doing? Yeah, they are legit together. I did not know that. Interesting. They've been married since Xena. That shows how much I pay attention to Lucy Lawless's personal life. Just imagine how awkward that is. Like, but I mean, you're in show business, so you know, like, when she had to do the nude scene and everything, and just know that, you know, my wife's over there, butt naked. She's butt naked. But I mean, that's, like I said, that's like show business. It's like you get with an actor or actress and you get mad because they have a sex scene on screen with someone. You can't. You got to kind of remove yourself from that aspect of the relationship because they're acting. Now, things can get pretty detailed and steamy, and at, you know, some point, like, hey, you're grinding a little bit too hard down there. Lay off. But I mean, even then, you still have to kind of remove yourself. Like, it takes a certain tolerance to be with someone within that business. Obey the walrus. What's going on, Cat? And Anthony, how you doing? See, that I do pay attention to, Ty. But I mean, but you can't blame me for that. I mean, it's just is what it is. All right, I see we got so far. Oh shit. There we go. So far, we got 5 likes in on the video. That gives you 5 JG Darks. Oh yeah, we're keeping that going. Just to anger Devin, because I know he wants the badges. I mean, pretty much, yeah. It's the whole thing, like any kind of celebrity you get with. Anybody, even if they're not a celebrity, just them being an actor. You got to go in thinking at some point in time, there's going to come a moment where they're going to do something risque, or the director or script that they accept is going to call for doing something risque. So that's going to happen. Oh, you said we got 6? Oh shit, we're up to 8 now. That means I owe you guys 3 more. Like Lucy Lawless will be a gilf if she isn't already. Yeah, pretty much. 'Cause, I mean, God, man. She's aged extremely well, to say the very least. Oh shit, did I actually say hi to Harley too? Harley and Machete. I don't even think I said hi to either one of you guys. I am so sorry. Hello to both of you. So we're up to 10. Holy shit. You know what that means? That means we get a JG and a Camp Juicy because we are now up to 10. Having way too much fun with those badges. Yes, Ty, I can completely agree with that. 69 my ass, cat. I've gotten 69 likes on videos and higher, but never a stream. Never, ever in a stream have I gotten that high. Like, I think, I don't know what my highest like video is, but I do know it's in the hundreds. Like, I know my Roy Burns being Jason's father video is my most watched video. That probably has the most likes. Anthony says, I don't like the score from Halloween 2018. I like the form Scream. I'm assuming you mean in correlation with the comments and messages you sent before, Anthony, about you wanted to hear Scream soundtrack in the Halloween movie. I couldn't disagree with you more, to be completely honest. Scream soundtrack, especially throughout all 4 films and even some of the TV series from what I've watched, it's very much focused and has the identity of that genre, that not genre, but that franchise. Halloween, from Halloween 1 to this new timeline, just speaking of this new timeline, because I mean, we got the original Halloween 2. That was also a really good score for that film. But with the way they do the score from Halloween 1 to Halloween 2018, John Carpenter knocked the score out of the park. Stop mocking me with them. I need them, JG. Well, I mean, they're there for you. Oh. I'm assuming that says Pussy Slayer. Thank you for the follow. Slay that pussy, man. Slay it. Especially in these tough quarantine times. Oh man, I had to like look close on that. Like, wait, what? That's a who? That's a what? Slash slash. Slash slash bang bang. I just think of slash slash bang bang. No, I'm not high at all. Yeah, Anthony, I was just talking about that. Because I know you were saying you wanted to hear Scream music in Halloween Kills. And like I said, I couldn't disagree with you more because then it's not a Halloween film. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to fuse Scream and Halloween together, and unless there's plans down the line for that, I wouldn't do it. Which obviously from the right situation, that's not going to happen. Since Scream is now with Spyglass and Halloween's with Blumhouse. It's not going to happen. Not unless they make a deal. Really, Pussy Slayer? You spread it, you see. Then you do vibrations in and see the results. Sometimes you get poo-poo on your face, but okay. I mean, it's an acceptable risk. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And you just like, you get in there and you know what? I'm going to leave it. That's going to be like a members only kind of stream where we could all talk about that kind of shit. Play just remember. Holy shit. I remember Gay Cybersex needs gift card. I remember him too. Just like out of fucking nowhere, just comes in like Gay Cybersex needs gift cards. Like what? Huh? JG, keep it in your pants. It's in there. It's corralled. We're good. I mean, right now we got more of a concern of Harley keeping her clothes on during the stream than we do, you know, me taking it out the pants. What you say? I'll be back. You'll be the real pussy slayer. You are killing me, my friend. Machete says 2018 soundtrack is my favorite. It's so bumping. Like I would go to the club that just plays that, especially the Allison song when Michael Myers and Allison first meet each other. Like that is a really, really, really good bit of the soundtrack for that. Just the overall, like from even when they redid the Halloween theme was really good. And it was like so subtle and simple of what they did, like the slight changes that they made, and it fucking worked really good. Trap metal music is a good style of music. I haven't actually heard any. You might have to whisper me a couple of links there, Slayer. That way I can check some shit out. Now, I don't want to click on any whispered links and end up going to anybody slaying pussy. I do not want that. we don't want to try to, you know, scar JG here. Oh shit! I'm going to have to remember that, Slayer. Check them out. Nicolas Cage as the son of Cochran for Halloween season of The Witch 2. I'd deal with that. That'd be a pretty good thing. Pretty good thing to see. Shut up, JG Dark. I like to be comfortable when I watch it. Like, be comfortable. It's like, you know what? Here's JG Dark. It's on again. Like, shit, man. It's on YouTube. It's fine. Okay. We're good. Anthony says, what would happen if they made Michael Myers versus Leatherface in the 80s? One, who would be visiting who? Would Michael Myers be getting transported to Texas, or is Leatherface still on the run from the 1973-74 Chainsaw Massacre? Like, we would need a little bit more information than that, Anthony. Because, I mean, how can you share music? You can head over to my YouTube channel, Slayer. Which I'm going to drop the link for that. And just drop it in the community tab. Oh, shit. Almost forgot the /. There we go. Just head on over to the YouTube channel and just drop it in my community tab. The last thing that I commented in the community tab, just put it under those comments and I'll check it all out there. That's what I normally have people do. Seems like to be the best and easiest way to actually get people's links in, because for some reason the links are not working right. Like I don't have it where my bots drop block links, but yet it still does. So I'm not entirely certain why. Can you see the link? I cannot see any links. Machete. I'm not a normal person because you know why. I mean, you're the Slayer. Slayers are quite special in their own right. You did it too, Machete? All right, nice. I'll check all of that out after the stream, since I get notifications for all those comments as well now, since YouTube updated their stuff. Down the fleshy hole. Put on some clothes. Hashtag fleshy. Not even the hole, just fleshy. Oh shit. Let me take a look to see how many I may owe you guys now. Alright, we're still at 10 likes for the stream, so we're good. I'm all up to date with all my icons. We're good. Gonna go eat my French toast. Shit, man. Are we talking about food yet? We're just getting started to stream, and I may be getting hungry. So, chill out, Machete. Keep it to yourself. You forgot the hashtag, cat. Harley's like, I am wearing clothes. For some reason, I just had like pop in my head, like pretty much a thong and pasties. Like, I'd like to dress comfortable. Just like that with tassels on them. Fucking like one of those like Vegas showgirls, just like randomly during one of the episodes, they're just spinning the tassels all around. It puts a weird image in my head. I wouldn't even do that to a stream watching myself. Maybe, actually, you know what? I take that back. If it was the Jason Nipples stream, then yeah, I'd definitely be doing that. Ty says, you guys never know if I have clothes on because you can't see me. I mean, I just assume that everyone's naked watching the stream now at this point. Just based on what I'm hearing, like if there's a hint of doubt that you're naked watching the stream, I'm fairly certain that you're naked watching the stream. I mean, not for any sexual reason, of course. I mean, we're wholesome here, you know, family friendly, but you know, comfortable. Like Harley says. I mean, whether it's pasties or tiny garments that cover just a little bit, no judgment. No judgment at all. What am I watching? This is what happens when JG gets an extra day of rest. She's like, I'm not even wearing socks. You, my friend, you are a rebel. Are you sure nothing sexual? Not yet. I mean, it might get there. We just want to see how things go as we progress during the stream. Not promising anything, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. When you see a giant fucking paywall just like pop up on screen, only members can watch the rest of this shit. Oh man, I don't know if we've gone that extreme yet, cat. Although, you never know. It is young. We are starting. This night is extremely, extremely young. Hashtag show toes. You want to show my toes or just toes in general? Chuck's like, I got all my clothes on, brothers. We haven't worked on you enough yet, Chuck. Sooner or later, you'll be like just like unzipping and like flinging that shit around. Like, why did I just remember Fredson from the Freddy versus Jason commentary? Why did that just pop in my head too? Sit like with the whole Jason nipples thing. Ty says we're all naked under our clothes. That reminds me of what was it, like don't drink the water, fish have sex in it? Isn't that the saying? Only members get the extra view of what's under the desk. See? You're already way ahead of me, Machete. Where are my pants? On the floor. Next to the underwear. But I still got my socks on. Because I'm not a heathen. Oh my gosh. We have already devolved. Oh shit. I owe you 2 more juicies. We are up to 12 likes already on the stream. We haven't even started the first episode yet. Fish sex is arousing. It's kind of fishy. It's like weird. Can you imagine? Like not to, because I don't want to risk anything on the channel. Can you imagine fishy doggy style? Like, what does that even look like? Is that even a thing? I mean, does anybody just go look at their fish bowl and see a goldfish mounting another goldfish and like going from there? I remember in school, I think it was at some point in middle school, we were watching animals. It had something to do with animals mating. And I remember watching how dolphins mate. And I remember being both amazed and disgusted at the same time because those things like fucking smack each other. And it's like, dude, like you're beating the shit out of each other. But then it's like at the same time, like their accuracy is fucking amazing. It's like a good 90 percentile, like bullseye every single time, at least for the video that I watched. But then again, I guess if you miss, it's kind of like being shanked in prison. Like if that happens. Legend has it, JG is actually like Darth Maul. He has no legs. Maybe. One day, the camera will be lower. You know, one day we'll do a stream just from the bottom half. You'll never see my face or anything. It's just going to be crotch into the camera. Wait, all legs all day. That makes me moist. I see JG stream is live. Everything's coming all. Like, oh shit. JG Duck. Like you're Superman and shit. Like, gotta play the fucking Christopher Reeves theme song. Fish sex is very, 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 very wet. You ain't lying. That's a very good question, Machete. And if I was that kind of channel, I'd be doing a theory on that. But until they start massacring people in that genre, I have to stay away. Hentai is better. JG Shark Sex Sweet. Slugs mating is disturbing. I have not seen that at all, Ty. And as disgusting as it sounds, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm going to have to actually check that out now. Because I want to know. I am very fucking curious. Nicholas asks, how's Amanda doing with her hernia? She's working through it. She's in pain, but she's working through it. Hopefully she'll be getting her surgery done here very, very, very soon. Cubby wummies. All right, we're gonna get started with the videos here. Just checking to see if I owe you guys any more camp juicies. Nothing yet. Does that mean people get massacred and it's played off as a joke in The Incredibles? Really? I don't know. It's been a while since I watched The Incredibles, so I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, it's not like horrific. At least as far as I know. I mean, if that was the case, we'd be fucking going after all kinds of superhero movies. Animated or not. But alright, let me turn off the desktop audio so that way you guys cannot hear the show and I don't get hit with any copyright bullshit. Let's get back to the sexy talk. No, we haven't started yet. We're getting ready to get started here shortly. The stream went from 0 to 100 real fast. That's what I'm saying. That extra day of rest, I just jump in and we go into it. Chat needs to be on, what was that, subreddit? Cursed comments? Really? I don't think we're that bad. Although I haven't checked out that subreddit, so I'm not entirely certain what that may entail. Ogres have layers. All right, let's begin. Now, assuming that you guys know where we left off, we are now starting at episode 7. We're going to be doing 7, 8, 9, and 10. And finishing off the entire second season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. So, again, the series is on Netflix, so feel free, hit your Netflix, put that shit on, get it on the episode, and we'll soon give the countdown. Starting from 5, once I say play, you'll hit play, I'll hit play, we'll watch the movie together, or in this case, the TV show, and hopefully if I make mention of something, should sort of sync up with what I'm seeing. Hopefully. JG explains the birds and the bees to subscribe. That would be a pretty funny kind of thing. Harley says, you know, when I first started watching these, I thought you were a normal guy, JG Darhk. But now I see you're as weird as the rest of them. I mean, maybe, Harley, maybe they rubbed off on me. I was nice and innocent until I got on YouTube. And the moment I turned on that camera and I started live streaming, when I did my videos, I was still as pure as the driven snow. And then I turned on the camera and started interacting with all these guys, and next thing you know, I've been corrupted. I blame society. I blame Adam Marcus. Yeah, that's right. We're taking it back all the way there. All the way back to these the first streams where pretty much we just blamed everything on Adam Marcus and just kept it moving. Oh, see, Michelle, I'm about to check it out. I'm about to check those out. Because, I mean, I saw the first one years ago, so I don't remember much of it. No, sure. Blame us for your corruption, JG. I mean, I gotta blame someone. See, Ranger's blaming me. Like, you guys were all innocent until you jumped into the stream, and then I just collectively just completely corrupted everything. I was looking for another word that's outside of corrupted and couldn't find it. One of us. Don't worry, Harley. You will be assimilated. You will be part of the darkness. Because, I mean, you're already disrobing while watching the stream, so you got a little bit, you know, we're corrupting you a little bit here and there as time goes on. Michelle said, came back from a Zoom class. My kids got to do that too, like Zoom every now and again with their teachers. Keep trying to get them to do it on my computer because I have my computer set up with a green screen on Zoom, and I just want to mess with their teachers. I want my kids to be able to like be in class, but at the same time, the green screen is showing the Hellraiser chains going back and forth, just to see what the teachers would say. Machete asks, why do you spell dark with an H? I've gotten this question a couple times before. The reason why I spell it with an H is purely for branding reasons. When I was creating the channel, there were a lot of J Darks without an H, JG Darks without an H, or just variations of the word dark without the H. With the H, there were very few channels, if any at all, that had that same name or that same variation together with the JG letters. So the reason why I ended up going the route with using the H was, one, it kind of made me the only channel with that name at that time. And it was much easier to brand, because when you're the only one that has that, it makes it much more searchable when you're promoting your videos and so forth like that. So I went for it in that sense, just for that alone. And at the time, I was watching Arrow, and I was watching the character Damien Darhk, who spells his name the same exact way. So I was like, you know what? That's actually not bad. So I ended up just like fusing it together and going from there. That's where that comes from. Long story short, just branding. Ty, taking away your innocence. I was pure and innocent until I joined this channel. I said the same thing, Nicholas. See, Devin knows. He corrupted me. I can tell you now, I'll never be one of you. I don't know, Harley. You got to ask yourself a couple of questions. Are you subscribed? Do you have the notification bell on? And since you subscribed, what is the percentile of the streams that you have joined, and have you watched a good portion of my past videos? Like, you got to think all of those analytics, take them all into account, and then go forward from there and really think, am I becoming one of them? Am I? And I mean, if the number's high, then you know the answer to that. What's going on, Alessandra? Who has summoned the Ancient One? It was me. What the hell did I miss? We talking a lot of I don't know. There was a lot of slug sex talk. There was dolphin sex talk. There was a lot of shit. What's going on, Puddin' Pie? Yeah, I still want to do the Dracula story time. Not story time, but uploading chapters to Dracula with me doing a reading. I still want to do that. I've been kind of putting that off. Just because, like, with my sleep schedule, I've been trying to work on getting that back under wraps, which I think I may have succeeded. But that is definitely one of the goals that I want to do. Probably closer we get to October, because that could be a nice little spooky time for us to do. Once you go dark, you can never go back. What the hell, Richard? All right. Let me check the stream real quick, see if I owe you guys any more Camp Juicies. Looks like we don't, so we are good to go. Let me bring up my player. All right, so assuming I gave all you guys enough time to get your episodes in order that you need to do and get on, we will begin episode 7 of season 2 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh, that was loud. Wasn't ready for that. It's a nice little callback to all the, well, the first 2 films. Oh shit, I know this episode. This is an Ashy Slashy episode. Oh, I'll even do a little credits in the video, Ty. Especially, hopefully by then, I'll have where I can do credits for like channel members and longtime viewers, sort of like I did for the Chillin' with Michael video that I did, where I had all the credits at the beginning and so forth. I plan to do something similar to that. Saw bathroom, it's green like it. Who says you haven't scared me off yet? Who says I'm not about to leave this channel forever? Because Harley. Above everything else, through the disrobing of the clothes during the stream and talking about dolphin sex, you are family here now. You cannot go. If you leave, we will claw you back. Or we'll try. I mean, it probably won't work. It'd be like a fucking electronic or digital restraining order on the entire JG Dark chat. Did I see your previous comment, Alessandro? I don't think so. Think that the fake JG Dark is chilling? I mean, anything is possible. Pretty much. It's loud as shit. Oh no, Harley. We're all family here. I mean, not like that kind of family, because I mean, if you're disrobing watching the stream, we're not, you know, deep south kind of family. Sort of like best friends kind of family. So that way, you know, when you disrobe and watch the stream, like whether ever one day you ever want to take off the pasties, you know, it's not weird. It's just kind of I mean, it's kind of weird, but not family doing it to actual family weird. It's just weird. You know what I mean? We are the people's temple of the dark. I actually like that tie. That has like a nice ring to it. We show a picture of a vagina and says it's a sweater being sent. I don't think it would fly, but it would be a hell of a try. Don't they call that a Freudian slip, Harley? Oh shit, there's Ashy Slashy. I still kind of want one of those. But it's like the only thing I can get is like the possessed one. And I'm not sure if I want the possessed one or the normal one. Imagine starting a stream with an Ashy Slashy puppet. Nah, I'm gonna have to let someone else be the guinea pig for that, Alessandro. Hey, thank you for the like, Kayla. I greatly appreciate it. Although you can't hear the alert. I so rarely fucking get one of the like Facebook or any of the other platform alerts on there. But I definitely appreciate it, Kayla. Thank you for the like. People's Temple of Dark Gate t-shirt. See, I'm like thinking of how I would do that, Ty. Like, I would have to look some shit up to see how I would want to kind of design that. Yeah, I don't know about 15%. I might ship you a free t-shirt, but I don't know about 15%. Looks like Ash has like a crab claw on his hand. Kelly looks rough. You know what, Harley? Not only are we going to embrace you even more, even though you're trying to reject us, we may make you one of the head counselors of Camp Juicy. Don't deny it. Embrace it. Embrace the darkness. That's a long time. Oh! 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 The digits! Ow! Oh! It looks so fucking painful. Yeah, definitely, Ty. Like, send an email. Or message. That's right, you don't really have Facebook or anything like that. So, yeah, email will be fine. So that kind of makes me interested in what they could have did in an alternate universe where just the cabin thing happened. And maybe things weren't what they appeared to be and Ash actually did get institutionalized. Like, what if would have been while Ash was thinking he was seeing demons and stuff like that from reading of the book, it was actually due to whatever they might have been drinking. Like maybe they got slipped some acid and Ash started tripping. And then because of him finding the book and going through it and hearing the tape recorder, what if it implanted things in his mind and he started tripping balls and fucking killed all of his friends? That would have been a weird kind of take for that. Yes, Anthony, I do know they canceled that. Which, judging by what I heard from their last game with WWE 2K20, it's probably for the best. Lucy Lawless in a nurse outfit? What? Nurse Ratchet needs an injection from Dr. Groovy. Kelly does look a little bit creepy here. Ash starting a fucking riot in the mental institution. Wait a minute. Ty, are you telling like Nurse Lucy Lawless to bend over? Or are you telling her that you're sick and she's telling you to bend over? And if she's telling you to bend over, you know, where do we go from there? I'm assuming you're telling her to bend over, but then how's that a medical procedure to feed into the nurse narrative? Or I may be looking a little bit too far into that. Fucking Ash and Ashy Slashy. That should have been a thing that went on for a lot longer than it did. Oh. Ashy Slashy is just as much of a perv as Ash is. I like it. Can WWE games go back to THQ? Isn't THQ like bankrupt? I don't think THQ even exists anymore, does it? I think that's everyone. Well, most guys quarantine need. Ty. Ashy Slashy is not in the next Evil Dead film. The franchise is over. I can only help. That's the way. That's your workaround without having Ash there. Ashy Slashy takes Ash's place. Have him voiced by Bruce Campbell. Where are my toes, cat? It's not that kind of stream yet. We gotta work up to it. Just can't jump in a car and speed down the street. Gotta let it warm up first. You imagine that, Ty? Like, if it doesn't happen by then, imagine it, because I know they're predicting a possible second wave of all of this going on again in the fall, especially if we open everything up too early. We could be back to square one, so you might get a 2021 surprise if you get away from this one free. Oh my God. Damn, I didn't realize he ripped fucking Kelly's jaw off. If since Ashy Slashy is alive, how does it feel having something up his huge fleshy hole? He just made mention of that. Like, he likes how his stump is up there. How about EA Sports makes WWE games? I mean, they could, but I'm not sure the WWE games licensing, like how that is working and how their contract is with 2K Sports. No, they're not dead. This is all Ball like fucking with Ash's head. Trying to make him believe that everything that happened, like, this is actual his reality, and everything that he thought was real was all in his head. Basically trying to break him mentally. Harley is back. I told you couldn't stay away because we're family. We're like this. Like almost like so close. We're actually kind of, if I could get it. There you go. We're like this. That's how close we are. We're like behind each other. We're so close. Yeah, actually, I'm starting to see a lot of similarities with Nika and Cult of Chucky and Ash here, too. Thing is, I can't remember if all of this is in his head or did Ball actually take him to a actual building and just create the illusion around it. Although I do like Bruce being serious again. Like, just for that alone. Oh, yeah, Harley, we are. You can deny it to yourself for as much as you want, but we're in there. Do I have I have all the Halloween movies, Anthony. I have a very extensive horror collection. I know, Ranger, she does love us. She doesn't want to admit it, but I feel the love from here. So much love that if Harley ever live streams, I will likely be disrobing myself while watching. And honor. And love. All in love. All right. So that is episode 7 in the books. Oh, thank you, Devin. Devin has a foot fetish, is now following you. Is that you, Devin? I thought you already had a Twitch. So you can't live stream on YouTube. You don't have any subscribers. I think you can live stream on your computer desktop. I don't think you can live stream on your phone being under 1,000 subscribers. At least as far as I know. I may have that backwards, but I think you can actually live stream still. I mean, but also with YouTube, you don't have to just put yourself on YouTube. There's Twitch, Mixer, many other different things you can go to where you can just hop right in and start streaming right then and there. Especially Twitch. Twitch will definitely allow you to live stream. Yeah, episode 7 was really good. I'm really, 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 really liking that. Matter of fact, let me jump over to my Twitch channel real quick. Just wanting to see something. See Cat whispering stuff to me. Killing me, Cat. You are killing me. Oh my gosh. But alright. Fuck it, let's jump into the next episode. So, assuming you guys are ready, we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, I remember you saying that before, Ty. Did you ever say what source material that is actually from? That he's supposed to be 6'8"? Because I don't think it's ever listed in any of the films. Maybe the promotional material for Freddy vs. Jason? Where they were doing like the stat counts of how many people they kill. But as we know, Freddy vs. Jason isn't canon with the main series. None of the New Line films are canon with the main series. So I'm not entirely certain if the height would be translated over. I don't know, Devin. I see Devin has a foot fetish, and I see Devin that says he doesn't have a foot fetish. Where'd my powerful vagina go? That's a trick question. I know where this is going. See, I'm wondering, Ty, if it was maybe Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. That or even the Friday the 13th comic that came. I think it was Wildstorm that did one. Kind of has a like Weasley kind of villain look. I still think he looks amazingly like fucking Brad Dourif, especially when he has the long hair. So you want to say it was Jason Goes to Hell, but I'm not 100%. Jason Goes to Hell, that comic That was released way back in the around the time the film dropped too. So that may have been. I mean, it could have been it, but I'm not entirely certain. But again, it also goes back to the New Line films aren't really canon to the main series. So he might be 6'8" in the New Line films, but 6'4", 6'3" in the Paramount ones. It all depends on the canon. Oh shit, she's a fucking Deadite? Ooh, fucking stapled her eye shut. Holy shit. I know what you mean, Ty. The Jason Goes to Hell comic came out around the same time the movie did. It was, I think, a 3 comic set, if I remember right, because I used to have the first 2 comics of that collection. I mean, 6'8" could probably work. It all depends. Personally, I think that sweet spot for Jason's height is probably around 6'2" to 6'5" at the max. Like getting that around that height where Jason is still kind of a hulking figure, but he's not so tall that he moves awkwardly. Like 7'2" would probably be a bit more stiffer movement because of how, especially if you get a muscular guy, everything on that frame is going to move kind of awkwardly. Ooh. You'd figure, like, as a Deadite, she would have kept him alive. Especially since he was helping Ball. Anthony says, Freddy vs. Jason do connect to all the Friday the 13th films. Not exactly. Not exactly at all. It connects to them in the sense that they have the same backstory. But that and Pamela. Pamela being beheaded. But there are some very, very key differences that would indicate that it does not connect. Even if you disregard the actresses that play Pamela, that aside, Pamela's sweater is a different color. The nightmare of Jason at camp being bullied, that is not how Jason drowned. Jason being afraid of water, that's not a thing. Fucking the wounds to Jason's eye and the axe mark in his head are absent. That would kind of indicate that that never happened in this world. There's many differences I could go through of why it would not necessarily be considered either overlooks or just not overall canon to the rest of the series. That is too tight. Where the hell are you guys coming up with these names? Like, seriously. That shit is hilarious. But not only that, Anthony, just look at the New Line timeline, the canon between the New Line timeline Jason movies. If you look at it, Freddy versus Jason was supposed to happen right after Jason Goes to Hell. So if Jason Goes to Hell happened, where's the dagger? Where's the dagger that was in Jason's heart? Where's the Voorhees house? He doesn't wake up in front of the Voorhees house. He wakes up in the woods. Where's the Voorhees house at? Because he wakes up surrounded by trees. Trees take a good long while to grow. He hasn't been buried for 50 years to let even the beginnings of trees to grow. Ugh. Bugs coming out of his mouth. Oh, that's so nasty. Hopefully you come back, Harley. Always glad to have a good member of the family back. But yeah, Anthony, I could give you many examples of why none of the New Line films are canon to the Paramount movies, which I believe I've done videos on. Like, you can check them out on the channel. I mean, you can try to convince me that they're canon. But as we know from the New Line film standpoint, they only had limited rights to the Jason character. I mean, even when you look at the scene where Freddy's in Jason's nightmare, and Jason's dragging a corpse back to his little house, which I'm not sure why they didn't use the shack. That's another continuity thing. When he throws the body, or he's getting ready to throw the body in the closet, and you see all the bodies that supposedly that Jason killed, do you recognize any of them? Knowing that we've seen almost all of Jason's victims? There should have been at least like 2 or 3 people that we saw before. Even if they couldn't get the same actors back, they should have been killed in the same way that we could. Oh yeah, I remember that person was killed like that. Nothing. With that, Ty, I get what you're saying with that. But with the Friday the 13th movies, they are different in the sense that 1 through 8 take place in a pretty tight continuity. Like, one takes place directly after the other. It's like, so I mean, there are some plot holes. That's where most of the theories come from. There are some plot holes, some continuity errors going through the series. But in overall, it's a pretty easy canon to follow. Once you get to the New Line films, the entire canon has been thrown out the window. And that's mostly because New Line didn't put enough money up to get the Friday the 13th name and all of the rights to the series. They only got what they thought was important. And because of that, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Because then they weren't able to use anything outside of that first film in Jason's look. So, like, that's also a big determining factor with New Line in this lawsuit with Victor Miller. Because if Victor Miller owns the rights to all the stuff from the first Friday the 13th script, how does that impact New Line's deal? Since they only have limited rights. Like, they would kind of lose a shit ton of their deal with Sean Cunningham and have to remake a deal with Victor Miller. I can't do it. I don't have the light vocal cords to really do that, Alessandra. I can't. I know someone that can, and my kids can do it, but I can't do it the way it should be done. See, with that, Ty, in order for you to see that, in order for Tommy and Duke to be in the same movie together, then you would have to essentially I was just seeing like her running through the hallway. The only way you're gonna see Duke and Tommy in a movie together is if both Victor and Sean make a deal together, and then on top of it, New Line and Paramount make a deal together. That's the only way you're going to end up seeing any of that happen, because Duke is owned by New Line. He's going to be owned by Sean Cunningham and New Line, since Duke's not a official part of the Friday the 13th franchise. For him to be part of the Friday the 13th franchise, he would have had to have been part of the Paramount films. He's a part of the Jason franchise, which New Line owns, and that Sean Cunningham was the creative force behind. So technically, if Sean wanted to do more movies with Duke after the lawsuit's over, he technically can, because he doesn't have to mention Crystal Lake or Jason, but he can move on with Duke. But to get Tommy in, actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, you really don't need Victor to do a Tommy Duke crossover. You would need Paramount and New Line to make a deal in order to have Tommy Jarvis and Duke in the same movie. And then do a movie about Duke that does not relate to Camp Crystal Lake or Jason. But the problem with that is you would have to not mention anything of Tommy's past that revolves around Jason or Camp Crystal Lake. That would be that'd be a tough one. That'd be a tough one. But now that I'm thinking about it, Victor Miller doesn't own anything with Tommy Jarvis because he wasn't in the first script. He had nothing to do with the first script. And that'd be Paramount. Paramount owns that. So New Line would have to go back and make a deal in order to buy the rights to Tommy Jarvis then at that point, if they can. And then just pretty much try to combine it all for a New Line film under a different name, possibly for a different franchise. Maybe bringing Duke and Tommy together to face Freddy. That could be a thing. Anthony says they kidnap Jason and take him to space. They arrest Jason. Stay away from my holes. Oh, man. What's going on, Jason? We are currently in episode 8, about 17 minutes in season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. But we're also talking a little bit here and there. Right now, the continuity issues between the New Line Jason films and the Paramount Jason films. Welcome back, Harley. See, I told you couldn't stay away. But yeah, Anthony says they kidnap Jason, take him to space. They arrest Jason, they tried to execute him. The plan wasn't to exactly take him to space, it just kind of happened like that. But even then, by the time Jason gets arrested and Jason X, the intro to it, actually takes place, that's a bit in the future. Already, before we even get to space. Choke me? I mean, if you want. Come on. Come on. Get a little closer. Let's throw something. Fucking. There, I feel better. At someone's head. Well, fuck. I already threw the thing. Charlie, are you on the Discord at all? And if you want to talk to people, there's plenty of people that do voice chat on there. As a matter of fact, there you go, Harley. And anybody else that wants to join the Discord. Never know what we might get on there and do voice chat. But I tell you about getting close to the camera, but Harley, I must touch, I can't even speak right. I must touch the pasties. Press it against the camera. Oh. I do like Insane Ash with the fucking with the straight jacket on. You gotta get back to making history. Shit. What else you making, Jason? You still working on the reloader, right? If somebody bought the rights to Duke, yes, they can do whatever they want with them. There is a tricky situation because if you just buy the rights to Duke, you just have the rights to that character. You don't have the rights to anything that they may have alluded to as far as his history with Jason or anything like that in Jason Goes to Hell. You would just have the rights to Duke himself, which you can make an original movie to Duke. I'm not sure if Adam Marcus owns the rights to Duke, which I would have to ask him myself if that ever came up. But like I know he was saying something a while back that he wanted to do a Duke movie, but with the lawsuit and everything, all Friday the 13th related material is on hold. But I would think even with this right now, I would think that he could possibly do it, but he would have to do it almost a reboot of Duke without any ties to Jason. See, I had that thought before, Ranger, that Duke was actually Reggie from Part 5. But the history that was put forth in the script for Duke seems to indicate that that was done with Reggie not being in mind. Because supposedly Duke's whole story is that his him and his girlfriend were attacked by Jason and Jason killed Duke's girlfriend. And it's sort of a revenge thing. So Ash is pretty fucking smart. So it didn't go the way he thought it was going to. But see, though, Ty, at what point after part one? Because it was only like, I think Alice Hardy dies 2 months after the events of the first film. So, I mean, granted, it doesn't take long to become someone's boyfriend. But you would think after so long, and then on top of it, like, how would he know about Jason's supernatural parts of his character? Like, that would be the thing. Ooh. Poor Pablo. Oh, shit. All right, so that was the end of episode 8. We end with Pablo getting chopped in fucking half. But yeah, like, because I mean the timeline of between part 1 and part 2, I believe it takes place 2 months after the events of part 1 when Pamela gets her head cut off and ultimately Alice gets killed by Jason. So let's say, for the sake of argument, Duke was her boyfriend at that time. Okay, they were together. So pretty much during the events of, well, 5 years later, after, because it's 5 years after Alice gets killed, then pretty much we go to Jason attacking Packanack. So at that point in time, what was Duke doing at that point? Then during the events of 6, 7, and 8, we don't hear anything about Duke, especially in 6, if we're talking supernatural, or even 7, we're talking supernatural. It takes all the way up to part 9 for Duke to be mentioned and then come in. But then it's at the same time, during those 2 months, how obsessed would Duke have become with Alice in order to seek revenge on Jason? Like, I could see if they were together for years and they were like true love kind of shit. But there's barely in it, because you would figure the therapy that Alice would have had to go through, considering the PTSD that she had at the beginning of part 2, to even let someone get that close to her, especially considering her sort of relationship with Steve Christie. And pretty much him finding him dead. I mean, that kind of impacts. She's not exactly going to be the type of person that goes for another guy that's going to be that way. She was very reserved in part 1. So it wouldn't make sense in that 2 months that she would get over Steve Christie, over the events of Pamela's murders, even though she's still having nightmares of PTSD, and get so close to Duke that Duke would take it as, you know, this is the love of my life. Jason killed her, so now I want revenge. And even then with that, you would have to look at it, because even if you take into account some of the other details, like, okay, he didn't know it was Jason. Maybe he thought Alice was just missing, like how Paul said. If you look at it in that sense, by the time part 4 happens, it's now known that Jason killed her. So pretty much with that, that's 5 years apart. So Duke thinking that, okay, Jason had nothing to do with it here, and then he finds out the information that Jason did. 5 years? I mean, are you still holding that kind of a torch for someone for 5 years if you only know them for like maybe 2 weeks? Like, you would kind of need to really delve into the character in that sense. Duke was training himself to go toe-to-toe with Jason, just like Bruce Wayne was when he went against Ra's al Ghul. I mean, if he had the correct motivation, I just don't see it being with Alice. Like, it would make more sense if it was like a girl that he knew coming up and they got together and Jason killed her in front of him. That's what would make more sense. But given the time frame from what you're suggesting is that him and Alice got together after the events of part 1, and then she ends up missing, because you got to remember, she was never pronounced to be murdered or dead until her decayed corpse was found at the end of part 2. So that's a 5-year difference, 5-year time span. And I don't see, like, if she ended up missing, like, let's say you have a girl or whatever. You're with a girl for like 2-3 weeks, max. At the max, 2-3 weeks. She picks up and disappears. Just disappears. No pickup or anything. There's some evidence of a struggle. Maybe not. Maybe so. 5 years go by. And then you find out she was murdered by basically a psychotic woman's son who was thought to have been dead. Does that sting you enough to go Batman training? Like, I would think probably not. Like, you would probably be hurt that you could have probably did something, especially if you were supposed to be there with them at that time. Maybe you could blame yourself for it, but Duke didn't strike me as the person in Jason Goes to Hell, is the person who blamed himself for the deaths of others. I mean, shit, look how he treated, what was his name, Steven? Like, breaking his fingers, giving him what, as we find out, false information on how to kill Jason, not giving him all the information, telling him that only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees, but it also has to be a special dagger to kill a Voorhees. Otherwise it doesn't work, and even then it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't track that well with how Duke's character is. Yes and no, Ty. This was also something that came up with Adam Marcus himself, where if you track the timeline, this is another thing of why I say the New Line films are not canon to the Paramount films. If you track the timeline of the Paramount films, it takes you into the 2000s. But Adam Marcus has specifically stated that Jason Goes to Hell specifically takes place in the year it was released, which was like 92, 93, somewhere around there. So you kind of also have to take that into account too. So with that, it's the pretty much Jason Goes to Hell, let's say 92. Actually, let me look that up real quick. When the hell was Jason Goes to Hell released? August 13th, 1993. So 1993, and then Freddy vs. Jason takes place likely in the year that was released, which was 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. So you got like a 10-year difference between the two, which makes sense because of Jason's decayed body going from Jason Goes to Hell to Freddy versus Jason, if they are indeed supposed to connect. But when you're looking at like pretty much like how he said, like it takes place in 93, how does that relate to the rest of the timeline? That's where things get a whole lot stickier than what they should. Especially because, as he also said, Jason Goes to Hell was made with them purposely ignoring Friday the 13th Part 8. So Jason Goes to Hell, for anybody that was saying, well, his mask is like that because the toxic waste melted it onto his face. No, it was just how they designed it. In Jason Goes to Hell, he never went to New York. He never went to New York. He never had the toxic waste melt him in New York. That was never a thing that happened to him. They ignored Part 8 because Adam Marcus was instructed to ignore Part 8. So that's kind of how that worked too. That's what I mean. Like the whole thing is like a mess. Like you could take probably Duke. Here's what I would probably do with Duke if I was going to do anything. Because of the New Line films being such a fucking mess, what I would probably do is I would want to continue the Paramount films, and I would want to reintroduce Duke, maybe even with the same actor, in one of the Paramount sequels, and having him team with Tommy Jarvis, having him being Tommy's mentor. And that's how Tommy even started, like how you want Tommy to be trained. Maybe Duke is possibly in the Paramount world some kind of sort of paranormal, not hunter or anything like that. Like I want people to believe he's just as crazy as Tommy is, but you could take that bounty hunter aspect that he has and reform it into something where he takes Tommy on as his apprentice, and maybe Tommy's taking someone else on as his apprentice to try to guard Camp Crystal Lake or guard somewhere else. Maybe Duke, he got into that same thing, guarding a different area that was Jason-esque. Maybe something like that. But as far as how they had his history go, at least in Adam Marcus's script originally, it doesn't track well. It doesn't track well at all. Exactly. The only years that we have in any of the films is part 4. That's the only things that we have to track everything in the years. Everything else is pretty much guesstimation. That's the only thing that we have with it. Which I think, I'm not sure if he said it was in the original script or not. I have to go back, possibly even message him and ask him. Like, see if I can get that kind of answer from him. But I do know, like I said, like he did that movie with the intention of it being in 1993. But also on the same subject, his Texas Chainsaw 3D was done to be in the early 90s too. But studio stepped in and made that, I think it was like present day or something like that, where they have like smartphones and shit. Like it was supposed to be in the 90s, but studios had their product placements shoved in there for Texas Chainsaw 3D. So yeah, I can get a little bit messy. But yeah, like part 4, we know that to take place in 1984. We know pretty much the years time frame of parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Speculation wise, we know when part 5 happens. Speculation wise, we assume we know when part 6 happened. We got a fairly good idea of how many years it is when part 7 happens. And there is a continuity issue with part 8 as far as the timeline with that. Because if we remember right, in part 8, the guy at the beginning, that's him and the girl on the boat, he talks about the story about Pamela, and one of the things he says is like she killed a bunch of kids around here about 30 years back. Well, if you trace 30 years back from the time the movie was made, which I believe was 89, if I remember right. Let me actually just double check that to be sure, so that way I'm not just talking out of my ass. Yep, 1989. So with that, pretty much you trace 30 years back from 89. Okay, 10 years, 79. Another 10 years, 69. Another 10 years, 59. So no, not she killed him, but when Jason drowned, he said it was about 30 years back. So pretty much that would have been around 59. He's off by a couple years, but to 1957. But that would place it, if you go by the 30-esque kind of years that he's talking about, it is concurrent with the release of the movie, which really fucks the timeline. Really, really fucks the timeline. Badly. And like that's why like I even did my one video where I looked at Friday the 13th part 8 as possibly, I don't think it happened the way we say, because there's so many issues with part 8 that doesn't track well with the Friday the 13th series. Jason hunting kids outside of Crystal Lake purposely, not following anybody, but killing 2 people that wander into Crystal Lake and using their boat to sail back to a bigger boat to kill people on said bigger boat and tracking them to New York. Just didn't sound right. But like that's the thing though, like, because I mean, if you do count part 8 and you count what the guy says as canon in part 8, and then you do include the New Line films with the Paramount films as canon, so there's even become some continuity issues with that. Because I mean, it's still the whole thing that if you have Duke, where he's avenging Alice, that is his whole sole purpose. He was training himself. One, why would you feel the need to train yourself for what would be perceived as a backwater hick that's living in the woods, that has no special training or anything like that? You just need to go out there with guns. Granted, he's probably hearing all the horror stories of people going to Camp Crystal Lake and disappearing, especially if Rob went out there and that story got out that he was actually hunting Jason and still got killed. Like, it would make more sense if it was a surviving Jason victim. At least to me. Like, maybe here's what you could probably do that would probably make a lot more sense in order to really fit Duke in there. What if Duke knew someone at maybe the Jarvis house, or the kids that that were partying across from the Jarvis house? What if Duke knew someone that or possibly was close to someone that died at Higgins Haven or even Packanack. Like maybe you could do it with that. That may track a little bit better. Or maybe, here's the thing, maybe. Now let's think about this before we start getting into the last 2 episodes of season 2, because this shit has me thinking for a bit. What if Duke is related to Ali, the biker that Jason kills in part 3? What if that's the case? Because I mean, think about it. Like that could be. I mean, we're all hoping that it was Reggie, but the timeline does track a bit better if he's related to Ali, and Jason directly killed Ali. That's if you're keeping the New Line and Paramount Films as one continuity. Because if they're not a continuity, then New Line can't use Ali at all. New Line can't even use Alice. So you would have to scrap both those ideas. But if borders are completely dissolved, what if you could make Duke maybe the little brother of Ali? And Ali gets killed by Jason in Friday the 13th Part 3. Not only killed, he gets brutalized, completely fucking dismembered. What if that has such a psychological effect on Duke that that's what makes him want revenge? And every time Jason dies, what if fucking it starts like, it's almost like a false start. Like Duke hears that Jason is dead, so he feels at peace, and then he hears that Jason comes back, and it starts that vengeance again. And to the point that Jason has come back. There's been so many rumors about Jason coming back so many times that it makes Duke want to look into possible other candidates or avatars of the death curse. And he starts figuring out things of how other people in the past had ended that same death curse. Maybe not just with Camp Crystal Lake, but other places across the country. And that's where he gets the idea of a Voorhees can only kill a Voorhees, and he uses the dagger. Now, the dagger I never viewed as the Kandarian dagger at all. I never viewed that. I never even thought it was the Kandarian dagger. They can say it's the Kandarian dagger, although I don't think it's the Kandarian dagger. I don't believe that at all, one bit. Just because the book is in the movie doesn't make that the dagger too. But maybe because Duke may have some magic up his sleeve himself, maybe when was it Jessica? Maybe when Jessica grabs the dagger and it transforms, maybe that's actually Duke doing that, not Jessica. So I mean, there's some ways you could go about it, but I probably wouldn't think that it would be the whole Alice thing. I think Ali lends itself a lot better. What's going on, Sebastian? How you doing? See, I wouldn't want to make Fox his girlfriend. I would want to make Fox maybe at best Ali's girlfriend. And maybe sort of like how Reggie's relationship was in part 5 with Demon. Where, you know, Demon and his girlfriend, like Reggie loved both of them. But Jason ended up killing both Fox and Ali. So that could be a double whammy on him. And it would give more significance to Ali and Fox outside of just being essentially throwaway characters. I see you lurking, Harley. I see you. But all right, let's get into the next episode. We are now in episode 9. So, with that brief intermission of Friday the 13th talk, we will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. What's going on, These trees? Do you think the world will impose mandatory vaccination, and would you accept that? Yeah, I would. I mean, ultimately, if it's for the things that we know is dangerous, like pretty much the whole virus we got going on now, as well as other viruses and illnesses that we should be vaccinated from. I mean, mandatory, it's a bit harsh, but at the same time, if you don't want to be. Oh. Yeah, I think this is the episode we're thinking about, Ranger. Yeah, definitely. And that, for those examples, these, yes, definitely. Because, I mean, and ultimately, like, you look at worldwide how many people this has killed already. Like, to try to save as many lives as possible, I think it's worth it. If we could get a vaccination that actually works. He's on fucking angel dust. I mean, yeah, mandatory, I guess, sounds a bit harsh, but at the same time, it's like where you have some vaccinations that you're not allowed in school with. I think those kind of things that should prohibit you. Like, it's the whole thing. Like, keep in mind, if you don't want to do this, this is the consequence of doing that. Like, not wanting to do it. Like, you can't be a part of this, or that under threat of possibly infecting others because of the danger. Oh no, D's, I've been reading into everything. I mean, could it be inflated? Yeah, it could be. Do I think it's inflated? No, I think it's actually lower than. I think it's actually like much higher than what's being reported. Like the numbers now that we got are probably nowhere near what they actually should be. I think it probably is a lot higher. And you got to think for something to spread like this quickly in this modern age, that's a rough one. What do I think about the people protesting the lockdown? I think it's extremely counterproductive. You're protesting a lockdown because you're locked down, but you're likely spreading the virus even more so, causing the lockdown to last even longer. It's like when your parents get mad at you and punish you for not cleaning your room, but instead of cleaning your room, you trash it even more because you're angry and you refuse to clean it even longer. Like it's essentially in that same ballpark. Yeah, I've heard that before, Ty, about the whole thing. Like, but I don't necessarily. As long until we get more evidence that that is actually the case, I'm filing that under rumor. All right, so we're 1982, and Ruby's already there in the form of Lucy Lawless. So would it be possibly that at this point that Lucy Lawless, Ruby Noby was already possessed by the Dark One? Because I know we were talking about that before. Which, if you realize, Ash doesn't really change history at all here. The only reason Pablo even comes back to life is because of the deal him and Ball make. But no history was changed at all. Oh shit, I didn't realize we were up to 13. Guess I owe you guys another Camp Juicy. There we go. Which wasn't this like the original ending of this season was supposed to be old Ash meeting young Ash? Still crazy how they got that shit looking. Oh yeah, yeah. The mask that they're saying for us to wear, Mostly like at home, like put together. Like Amanda's made a couple of masks. Personally, me, because the way they said it, like it just needs to cover your mouth. So if you're sneezing or coughing, it's inside the mask itself. It's not meant for, if someone else sneezes to pretty much like stop everything from hitting you. It's just supposed to block everything coming out. Yeah, I did see that, Ranger. I did see that. But with the mask, essentially what I've been using is a bandana. I've been using my second bandana and just covering through here. But yeah, the mask that they want the doctors to wear, absolutely. They need it far, far, far more. It's like he was getting ready to chop his leg off. If only he would have thought of that before he chopped off his hand. Oh. Oh. Kind of made me gag. Yeah, it's like pretty much as long as you're doing that, Ty, like when you're coughing and stuff like that, and you're using the handkerchiefs or bandanas covering yourself, if you don't have them over your mouth like that, they just want you to make sure you're sanitizing your hands afterwards because of the virus being able to pretty much stay on surfaces like your hands and be able to spread for long periods of time if you happen to touch someone else and they're unsuspecting and they touch their eyes, mouth, nose, anything like that. So that's the whole thing. I mean, granted, you can still breathe it in. That's another good thing of the mask. But it is what it is with it. Oh yeah, allergies. Allergies is getting the fucking me too. Like even when I have to go to the store. Oh, that looks nasty, but it's funny as shit. Oh, that looks so fucking nasty. But yeah, like I get allergies where I'm like coughing, sneezing, eyes watering, and so forth. And especially when I have to go out to the store and get any kind of food. Because I'm just wearing the bandana like over my face. When it happens, it's the looks that people give you for it. That's where it's getting a little bit much. Like the reactions. Like if I got a bandana on and I'm coughing and I'm sneezing and it's inside my bandana, don't worry. I'm already taking precautions. The only thing that really freaks me out about it is because it's a respiratory virus and having trouble breathing. That's the only thing I desperately am afraid of. Because I mean, if it hits you hard and your immune system isn't anywhere near as good as you think it is, from what I've heard from people who've had it, it feels like they're drowning. I'll see you in the next one, Harley. Have to send you some JG Dark pasties for one of these streams. That way you can watch in style. Did he actually? I don't think he did it, or at least it said that he did that in the original canon, because it did say that in the original canon he killed her and buried her in the floor of the fruit cellar. But he also knew the only way that you could kill Deadites, as we know from part one, is you have to dismember them. And he refused to as he said, he couldn't bring himself to dismember her corpse. So I assume in the original canon that never happened. Henrietta kind of looks like Kathy Bates. I mean, couldn't she transform and her neck get long like it did in part two? And she just like bite the key and bring it over to her? It's like bitch slapping the shit out of her. Is that Ted Raimi as Henrietta when she transforms into the Deadite form? Yes, it is. But obviously not as the woman. When is JG going to drink pink fuck? Well, now from what I've heard, they may be opening up the liquor stores around here. So it might not be pink fuck, but we might get fucked up. Especially since they added another like a week and a half onto my quarantine in this area. So shit. Ooh. Pretty much my reaction. Yeah, fucking yeah, it hurts. Oh yeah, I don't think that's Ted Raimi yet. Well, you have a good day or afternoon or whatever time it is here. Oh, it's only like 6 o'clock. Well, you have a good night, Nicholas. Ooh. Should have slapped you harder. Ooh. He's like fucking with the bear trap. Like with one hand, just like grinding it in there too. Because I've heard those things, like when they fucking snap on you, they snap with enough pressure to like crack a bone. Definitely could have been worse. That alone sounds like a really good fucking premise for a TV show. Oh. There's Ted Raimi. So that looks like, oh, they kind of made Henrietta bigger or plumpier. Oh, done jammed up the chainsaw. It's really paints Professor Nobi in a really negative light. Oh, definitely, Ty. Send it. I want to see if I can try to put together all the ingredients for that. All right. Well, that was episode 9. Shit. One more episode left. We're just going to jump right into it. So we will begin episode 10, the final episode of season 2 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Obey the walrus. Obey the walrus. They never say how they arrested Jason in Jason X, Anthony. I mean, it's assumed that pretty much they overwhelmed him with numbers and got him that way. The panda can try it too. I think with the panda's current pain predicament, as much as she would want to, she probably won't. So I'm wondering for the eyes, did they use CGI to blank out the eyes? Or are they actually contacts? Henrietta's fast as shit. I have to look back and look at Nobi's car there and look at the card that we see at the beginning of part 1. Because I can't remember what car that was. Got blonde Ruby. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would help with her with like a hernia. Well, I would need more information on that to come up with a plausible theory, but I think I could probably come up with something. Oh, 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 God. Oh, oh. Close your mouth, Ash. Oh, Henrietta breastfeeding. Oh, Henrietta's so fucking nasty, dude. Holy shit. Like, just seeing Henrietta like that. Oh, dude. Oh, no. Oh, I thought she was going... It's been so long since I watched this, I thought she was actually going to land on him. Granny tits, yeah. And they're, like, squirting. Like, holy shit, man. It's a good question. It's weird that she didn't question that more. Like, your future self comes and you don't question how this came about, like why she's with Ash. Pretty much. She was really. I would have thought she was dead. See, now is that because of them changing the timeline? Or is that Ball that's doing that? I'd feel like that would have to be. That would have to be Ball fucking with him. Brand new spanking hand. Would I? I don't know about that. Dark stench. Oh shit, we got another like. Add that another Camp Juicy in there. Yeah, I think that definitely was ball. Yeah, I think with that machete, I would probably trust eBay because with the way Amazon's going, they're running shipping for particular things first before anything else. So it'd probably Amazon's shipping would probably be a little bit more accurate. Not Amazon, eBay's probably be a lot quicker. Although I would probably, if you haven't ordered it yet, I would probably get it from Nightmare Toys. Nightmare Toys has extremely fast shipping. Which, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it for you. Never mind. Nightmare Toys is out of stock of the 78 mask. Although here's their 78 Boogeyman mask. But ultimately, I would only trust eBay on that because Amazon's, even though Amazon is good with some stuff, I don't trust it as far as mass. Because they are one of the prime examples of shipping out those really cheap knockoff masks and not putting the correct picture up. At least with eBay, you can actually message the seller to get a picture of the actual mask. Oh, thank you for the follow, Safa. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If you're getting it from the FedEx site itself, then I would go with FedEx. That would probably be your best bet because nobody knows how quick that's going to be besides the actual carrier. So Ball doesn't have his powers here, right? It's like Ash is like kicking his ass. Oh, like you, you fight like a girl. Fucking bit him on the fucking arm. I mean, I am too, Ty. I'm hoping that something like that happens. But, I mean, with something like this, we're taking it inch by inch. Ooh. Why can't they just let Ash keep his fucking hand? I got her fucking jumping all around the cabin. Not exactly Ty. The one that you're talking about is a different strand. Yeah, there was one under that name because the term of that, which I cannot really say, the definition of it is a cluster of viruses. So with this being what it is now is not what it was then. It's a completely different thing. That's why they are calling it a novel virus. It's the first of its kind. Some people are comparing it to SARS. It is similar, but not the same. This is a completely different thing, and that's why they're taking so many precautions on it, is because they don't know all there is to know about it. They don't know the mutations that can come from it. They don't know how long the long-lasting effects after recovering from it could be. They don't know a lot of stuff about it, and that's why it's a novel virus. So yes, there are things of that same name, but it's not the same thing. It's just the definition of it. In the sense of pretty much like Zack Snyder's zombie is a zombie and George Romero's zombie is a zombie. Yeah, they're under the same name, but they're not the same thing. Or even the 28 Days Later zombies, if that's a better example. Yeah, they're listed under the same thing, but they're not the same thing. I mean, once it's over, I think things will pretty much get back to normal to a degree. The only thing I see changing is the price of things. It's either going to go drastically up or drastically down for a lot of shit. Oh, chainsaw fight. Wouldn't those like chains have snapped doing that for that long? Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Abo. I greatly appreciate it. The first member of the channel. Enjoy your badges, my friend. Holy shit. I was just like, wait a minute, I know that alert. Well, I'm doing great here, Alba. Glad to see that Camp Juicy badge right next to your name, and even seeing the JG Dark emojis. Like, I'm very happy seeing that. You have no idea. Like, I have no words to really get across my appreciation for that. Now, how far did he cut through him to cut him like that? Man, is that what Ball looks like underneath the skin, though? See, that's what makes me think that Ball had to have been the one that gave him his hand back. Because with the cabin burning down, all of this shit happening, that means Ash never went to the cabin. That means Cheryl never died. Scotty never died. Linda never died. None of them should have ever died. So it should have just changed more than just Ash getting his hand back. And on top of the possessed hand should still be around too. Since he has a new possessed hand. Yeah, I can deal with that. I mean, to be fair, Ash is right on that. Like, after everybody that fucking Ball turned into, seeing Pablo up there after knowing that Pablo was dead, I would kind of be apprehensive too. Zombies versus Deadeye. Deadeye. Who's Deadeye? Oh, thank you for upgrading the membership. Abo. Holy shit, man. Like, again, I'm like left without words. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm like seeing that and I'm like, holy fuck, man. Had to do something special for you, my friend. I'm glad you like are happy enough with the channel, especially the stream, to do such a thing. Like, I mean, of course, like, I'm happy to see memberships, but holy shit, man. It's like, it's crazy that pretty much I could be that person for you to actually do so. To like do that. Like, I can't even put the words together. Yeah, because it would also mean that it would also mean that everything that Ash did in the present day throughout the season where everyone would find out about the Deadites. That couldn't have happened either. If we're going by the timeline changes, there's a ton of things that should have changed. Zombies versus Deadites. There is a comic book that does have the Marvel Zombies versus Deadites, with the Deadites lost in very, very bad fashion. But if we're talking like Romero zombies, then I would probably go with the Deadites on there. Because we don't know, the Deadites being dead, we don't know if the zombies would actually crave their flesh. And with zombies, the things that get with them is like numbers. But also, can a Deadite possess a zombie? That would be another thing. All right. And that caps off Season 2 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Oh, man. Shit, let me go back here, take a look at some things. I'm still like at a loss for words over the membership thing. Like, holy shit, man. Thank you so much, Abo. Right. So like pretty much as I got with tier 2 Abo, you can feel free to join me in a live stream on one of my next live streams to talk, probably do a little segment talking to you if you want to. And I can connect with you on social media if you're choosing. Like, pretty much just let me know. Pretty much get a hold on me on here, or even in the Facebook groups, Discord, all of that. As well as you get the badges as well. Well, as well as you get the badges as well. Get the custom emoji. I can play game with you. Dead by Daylight. Friday the 13th. I'll be playing Predator. Resident Evil Resistance. Hide or Die comes out, I believe, or gets re-released May 1st. If you got any of those, let me know, man. We can grab a game. For sure. Man, like wow. But yeah, that's probably gonna be it for me now. I am getting fucking hungry. I'm about to say starving. I'm getting starving. No, that's not how we English today. I am getting hungry. I am starving. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I will be back on tomorrow. We will be playing some Dead by Daylight. Yeah, some Dead by Daylight. I was thinking what other games I could probably do, but Predator doesn't come out till Friday, so I'll probably do some Dead by Daylight tomorrow. Play a little bit of Predator and Dead by Daylight Friday, and just take it from there. Yeah, just let me know, Abo. Let me know. Just let me know. Actually, let me drop that. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. Let me actually drop the thing so that way you can join the Discord as well. Let me drop that shit. There we go. That way you can jump into the Discord. And once we get on, I'll let you know what game I'm going to play. If you want to join for a stream, especially if I do a Let's Talk, which I could probably be doing one at any point in time. Have you on as a guest, get your opinion on a couple things, Friday the 13th or any horror movie that we get into. That's fine. If you don't have any time for it, that's completely fine. Like, no worries on it, my friend. The way I look at it is pretty much it's up to you whenever you want to do it. just let me know. I'll fit it into a schedule and we can do it whenever. Or I could do members night that will also allow us to let you and several other people that want to become members also join in games. Like we can do a rotating out or however we can possibly do it to really make use of your membership. Oh, thank you, Abel. Thank you. All right. And like I said, like pretty much just let me know. And I will wrap up here. Thank you guys for sticking out. Thank you, Abo, for joining the memberships. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm planning around maybe 6 or 7-ish. Especially now that I'm back on my actual sleep schedule. Let's hopefully I can keep it that way. Hopefully. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank all you guys for sticking out with me for these 4 episodes of Ash vs. the Evil Dead and all the talk in between. I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, I am JG Darhk. And thanks for watching.
Never laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in, the worms that crawl in are lean and thin, the ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out, your brain turns into maggot pie, your liver starts to liquefy, and for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, they'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when death brings his cold despair, ask yourself, will anyone